I've got company this morning. I've got a herd of young cows who have joined me by the tiny house. They're mowing the lawn for me, which is very kind of them. Thank you, girls. Just munch away, and that'll save me having to mow it myself. One of the benefits of living in a tiny house in the countryside is that you don't have to mow the lawn outside. Instead, you just let the herd of cows from the field next door come through and crop the grass for you. So this morning we have all the girls in. I'll just give you a little glimpse. Excuse me, girls, I'm just taking a picture of you. How's the grass this morning? All right? Lush after the rain? I bet you're loving it, aren't you? Anyway, go out the way you came in when you finished, won't you? And leave the chair alone. Come on, you're not going to eat the chair. That's my chair, leave the chair. Carry on, girls, munch away. Not the barbecue. Cows to the left of me. Cows to the right of me. Cows in front of me. I'm a prisoner in my own tiny house at the moment. They're really very docile, but they don't take instruction very well. I don't think we speak the same language. Look at the colour. Isn't that gorgeous chestnut colour? These are this season's growth. Look how big they are. Absolutely amazing. Don't know how long they'll be here for though. Good morning from the tiny house. I have got a herd of cows for company this morning. They're kindly mowing the lawn outside the tiny house, and at first I was cross, to be honest. 30 cows trampling on my patch. Well, of course, it's not my patch at all. It's their patch. It's their kitchen. And this sort of highlights the difference in mindset between a townie like me, 40 years in Sheffield, and a countryside. I only moved to the countryside, to Bakewell, at the end of 2016, so nearly 9 years ago. And I can assure you, it has taken me all of those 9 years to take the time that it takes to look, listen, watch, and adapt to the quite different rhythm of the countryside. First off, I would say it's just different. I've got a greater understanding and compassion, actually, and affection is the word, for country folk and country living. It is quite different, quite different, mostly in good ways. I know it's anecdotal that, you know, in the countryside it's very sort of insular. Well, it is, but that has its benefits, and yes, you do tend to know people more when you're in a tug of war match with one local pub versus another local pub. You're going to get mucky together, and you're going to drink together, and you're going to put up bunting together for the local fete in Lytton or Tideswell, wherever you are. And that is one of the strongest things I have noticed about country living. Much stronger community ties. Now, that's not to everybody's taste. I mean, another favourite place of mine of all time was living in a friend's small one-bedroomed studio apartment with a balcony overlooking the River Don in Kelham Island. And of course, there's a coffee shop right on the doorstep there. So I could watch the ducks and the kingfisher on the river. So there were glimpses, flashes of nature and countryside. But here, you've got every opportunity to just sit and literally be amongst it. Right now, the cows are doing a great job munching the lawn. So it teaches you patience, and it teaches me patience. Can't speak for you. And it teaches you to look. The other night, just recently, they've trampled over my little barbecue. I've been barbecuing because the wind has dropped and it was dry for a few nights. And I've barbecued every evening, which I like to do. And I just sit there in my wicker chair, which the cows have eaten this morning. And I gave myself permission. This sounds daft. See what you think to this. I gave myself permission to just sit there with my barbecue on my plate and a glass of red wine, and Van Morrison playing on the tin amps speakers in the tiny house for over an hour, just as the sun was sinking on the horizon of the Dale here. And believe it or not, I think that's the longest I've ever spent just sitting and looking, and it was fascinating. Just a couple of things. I live on a farm. It's a campsite and a farm, and it does have a coffee shop, so I'm sorted for that as well. But there are a lot of swallows, and I've not really observed the dipping and diving of swallows, and they're quite lovely, and they shriek a little bit as well, or eek, as they're dipping and diving. I thought they were just dancing on the air, but of course they're feeding on insects at different heights and different levels. And they've got lovely colourings. I don't know if they're a nuisance at all to the farmer, but they're very lovely to watch. And then my eyes adjusted to the lowering light, and I counted 6 vortices of midges, just little flies, but mini flies, dancing round in circles like a maypole, 6 of them in the dusk, round and round. How do they know? How do they know to keep together like that? And then as it got cooler, they dissipated and disappeared. But this is one of the major things I've learned living in the countryside. It takes time to look. It takes time to notice. And I've got, what's the time? Oh gosh, it's 1 minute to. I've got a video chat with one of my tech providers who happens to be in Baku in Azerbaijan in a minute. So I'm going to finish up this, but that's just a brief reflection on the difference between being a townie and being country folk. The girls have had their lunch now and are sitting down, resting quietly, chewing the cud, which, interestingly, is what I call it if you take your ideas or concepts on spirituality, or frankly any other topic, out of somebody else's mouth instead of your own process of self-discovery. Or is that a bit up my own arse? Leave the barbecue alone. You trampled on it last time.